Welcome back to Where You Live with Gene and Tony. Hey, coming up on the show here, we're going to be covering the story from the Star and Tribune. There's a landlord, owns over 105 properties, owes the city of Minneapolis over $70-some thousand in fines.
In fines? Oh, my
gosh. But the city is going to pay him back over $4,300, even though he owes them $72. How's that so? How can that happen? We want to know too, but we're gonna delve into that in just a little bit. But if you're just joining us, you're listening to Where You Live with Gene and Tony. We're broadcasting from the Concierge Landscape Studios. We're brought to you this hour by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. We're talking about the lawyer-client privilege, which is something every homeowner association is going to be involved with, with a sensitive issue where they're involved in a lawsuit from time to time. When is it good to share information with the members? The writer of one blog, and why we brought this up, is we read one blogger who said that they felt that the association gave away that lawyer-client privilege right, that confidentiality, once the board shared it with the other members of their homeowner association.
And we disagree with that. We say the members of the association are part of the corporation and are therefore a client to the attorney.
They are the client.
In this issue. That's right. But then they go on to talk about other scenarios that really are a separate issue.
Yes.
They talk about if a board shares attorney opinions with their members and then doesn't follow those opinions, they could get in trouble with their membership. What do you think about that?
I think the bigger question is a homeowner association can get into bigger problems if they are in a pattern of continually disregarding the recommendations of all the professionals that they have at their disposal. That would be the CPA, the attorney, the management companies. These are professional organizations. These are licensed people. These are people that have a fiduciary responsibility and role in dealing with you and thinking of what's in the best interest of the association. If you're regularly finding yourself going against this council, I think you're going to find yourself in trouble.
You're risking some trouble because that's why you have these professionals in your organization helping you, is because you want their advice, or you should want their advice. And it just makes sense. The board's going to protect itself more if it seeks professional opinions on issues and then follows those professional opinions regardless of their personal bias.
Yes. And depending on the situation, I mean, if you go with the advice of a professional who's licensed, insured, and just a solid person, that could actually help in putting some of the responsibility on others that you've relied on. I mean, it
not
would.
Only that, it shows that your intention was to do the best possible thing. We wanted to do the right thing. We got a professional opinion or opinions, and we followed it. If it turns out to be wrong, we can at least show our intent was to do the best and right thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. You can't, I should be, you're right. We should be the first to say you can't necessarily ensure success in the outcome that you're looking for.
That's right.
But if someone gave information that was wrong and they spoke too soon, an association could look to that professional and having some responsibility.
Yeah. Now, I have an example of this occurring right now. I advised a board of directors that I work with that they should not continue to make board decisions without a meeting.
Very good idea.
They have run into this habit over the last year of addressing issues between meetings by email, canvassing all the board members, and then going forward with a board decision. And they write it up as a resolution. They enter it in the minutes the next meeting. But when they did this to decide whether or not to remove a late fee from someone's account a couple months ago, I said, you know what? That's not appropriate. This is an issue that could be addressed easily in a regular board meeting.
Well,
and they did it again this month or last month, that a decision that could easily have been made. Simply, the reason they're doing it is simply because they can't stand to wait till the meeting to get some of these issues.
It's got to be
off
done
their
now.
list.
Yeah, it's amazing what people feel is an emergency and requires action immediately.
Yeah.
And I tell you, anytime if you get used to always having to react that way, you have a greater chance of being prone to mistakes and decisions that you're going to regret.
That's right. My reasoning is that the purpose of meeting once a month is so that you can get together face to face, discuss issues reasonably and thoughtfully.
Yes.
It's not about expediency. It's about being thoughtful and
to be full of purpose and to being
That's
deliberate.
Right. Now, to tie it in with this story, they have another professional advisor. Excuse me, my phone's ringing.
Should we take that now on the air, or maybe?
No. It's probably.
We should.
I should pick something up at the grocery store on my way home. I'm so sorry, I can't find it fast enough to turn it off.
Ignore the phone.
Ignore the phone in the background. Anyway, this board also has another professional advisor that said there's nothing wrong with doing this. It's perfectly okay to have board action without a meeting as much as you want. So in this situation, I will advise that board to get a third opinion. At the very least, I've let my opinion be known. So if there is trouble down the road because of this, I can point to the fact that it was against my best advice.
Yeah. But in the instance of this story we're talking about, again, if you are associations in litigation and you want to know as a board, should we be sharing this information with the members? Yes, you can.
Right.
That's not breaking the lawyer-client privilege because they are also members of the association. They are also members. They are also clients.
Yeah.
However, it may not be advised because they may not have the discretion. They may not know the importance of being a little bit more careful, more deliberate, and not talking about something until after the court issue has been resolved. So I think it's okay for a board of directors.
But it may not be wise, you're saying. It may not be wise because they can't control if their members start disseminating that.
Well, I was going to say yes, it may not be wise for them to share that information at that particular time. Share the information, but timing means everything.
Yeah.
I think it is okay for a board when you're in the middle of litigation to not be so forthcoming with all of the members. I think you need to be eventually, but if doing so could disrupt something that could lose your position in negotiation, in a stance, in a legal issue or matter, you should not disclose that information. I think it's okay.
Yep, I agree. If it's going to be detrimental to the community to have this out as general knowledge. And in fact, that's what the board's elected to do, is to represent the association in legal matters. So read your documents, read them Kiowa, make sure you understand where you can keep things confidential to the board.
State statute also makes it very clear that in those specific instances, it is all right for a board to withhold information for a period of time and have what would be considered a closed meeting to discuss.
That brings to mind something. At the annual meeting, you are required in the state of Minnesota, the board is required to disclose any lawsuits to all members. Again, you can disclose that you're involved in a lawsuit, even the issue, without disclosing all the details.
But you don't have to share the details or give away your position. But you're right. So there is a degree of transparency, but it may be to the association's best interest, certainly not to give that information away. It is it's tough when you see that happen. I don't know that I have seen an association board do that. Have you?
I can't think of an instance where it's come back to haunt them.
Yeah.
There's been trouble. There's been response and dispute maybe generated that didn't have to be generated, but I haven't seen legal problems follow. So this may be one of those things we're very careful about. We don't want our associations to expose themselves to risk. So we haven't actually experienced the downside of this, but we're trying to avoid it.
Exactly. Yeah. And maybe in closing here on this topic here, Tony, we brought up initially if a person or if an association, an entity finds themselves constantly in disregard or in opposition to the professionals that they're using, it makes me ask the question, why do you have them? Maybe it would be better for you to cut those relationships if you don't think they're giving you wise information. But if you are continually finding yourself always opposing the information that you get from other people, it may make you want to stop and say, what is the constant in this equation? And we say that we say that in a
with all due respect
and genuine way. Yes, for yourself and for your association to what's in your best interest. Yeah. Well, what's in our best interest right now is to take a break, but don't go away. We've got so much more right here on Where You Live.